What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mansa here today, and we are going to be talking about a Phil Spencer interview with Bloomberg, kind of talking about the intermediate to, maybe a little distant future of Xbox as far as portable gaming, mobile games coming to other consoles, and a few things that we kind of knew already. And then on top of that, we just got a full-on marketing push from Xbox, kind of saying what we've all known for the last, few months or so, is just that Xbox is going to be everywhere. Everything that has a screen is going to be an Xbox. So now the reason I am wearing this Eagles hat and Eagles Super Bowl champions hoodie is while you're watching this, I'm currently at the Commanders Eagles game. Hopefully we are walking out with a dub and wiping the floor with them. Jaden Daniels, listen, rookie of the year possibly, but tonight's not your night. All right, now, if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. If you do like, Xbox gaming concepts and topics and things like that, also hit that subscribe button. We would like to have you here. Leave a like on this video and let's get right into it. So the first part of the interview kind of talked about acquisitions and kind of spreading around, diversifying pretty much different regions and things like that. We know Microsoft and Xbox in general is more strong in the North America region, specifically the US, and then also Brazil and South America, but they haven't really been able to break over into, the Eastern Asian culture, or even the UK. They're not as strong in, Nintendo and Sony is pretty much the leaders over there. So the first quote comes from Phil Spencer, where he says they're looking for deals that add geographic diversity, including in Asia, might be worthwhile. Phil Spencer said in an interview Tuesday at Bloomberg's office in New York, buying another mobile company would add to titles Microsoft picked up in its $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard last year. We definitely want to be in the market, and when we can find teams and technology and capability that add to what we're trying to do in gaming at Microsoft, absolutely, we'll keep our heads up, Spencer said. Still, there's nothing imminent, and very large deals probably off the table at present, as the company is spending a lot of time absorbing Activision Blizzard employees. And I think that was smart for them to say, because, I mean, yeah, after $69 billion, layoffs, things like that, trying to do another large acquisition probably isn't the smartest thing to do. But then the kind of annoyance for a few fans probably comes from the fact that they're specifically talking about Asia again. And it's like, you had Tango Gameworks, which was your only Japanese studio. They gave you Hi-Fi Rush, what you then ended up bringing over to PlayStation 5, and people are thinking might be coming out on Switch too. But then you shut down Tango and you don't have them. This was your foothold in Japan. Now, we know there are certain business reasons why they had to shut down. Apparently there was certain companies that if they had a game in development already, or had a pitch, that they were closing them or something like that because they didn't have the money to fund it. I don't know. We'll never actually know what really happened with them, but the fact that they're saying they still are targeting Asia and then they don't have their actual Japanese studio is just like very concerning and very confusing, to be honest. And then it also gets confusing when you talk about China, where it says here, and quote, Microsoft wants to diversify the teams working on games by looking more to China. The company developed a new mobile version of Age of Empires, a world-building franchise that first appeared in the 1990s. By partnering with Tencent Holdings, Microsoft and Tencent released the game globally in October. It's been a good area for us to learn from creative teams that have really unique capabilities, Spencer said. The real opportunity is to partner with creative teams in China for global. So now, specifically when it comes to the Chinese market, we know Tencent and the Hoyoverse and things like that are huge on mobile. Even PlayStation being able to get games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail on their systems was a huge get for them. And we even saw with Black Myth Wukong earlier this year, which still isn't on Xbox. We do believe it will be at some point, but that was essentially like a timed exclusive for PlayStation. We do know there might be some, shady behind the door deals going on with that, but either way, it looks like Microsoft does know the importance of China and the growing market there, but it seems like they're probably trying to expand more on that side as far as the mobile side goes. But still, when you see a game like Black Myth Wukong sell 20 million copies, you have to believe like that would have helped them out a lot, especially for console gamers over there, where we saw sales for the PS5 just exploding just for them being able to try and play this game. So that was the first part of the article. The next part of the article kind of dives into where could we see a handheld when it comes to Xbox. And now with this new direction with Xbox, as far as going more third party, we're thinking, okay, are they still going to put out hardware? And is there a real reason for people to buy the hardware? We've seen the sales kind of dropping down. They're getting outsold by PlayStation like 2-1. They're around 30 million units sold between Xbox Series X and S. So it's like, why does someone still need it when your games are day one in Game Pass, which you can play Game Pass on the TV or your phone? You have PC day and date. Some of your games are coming over to PlayStation. So it's kind of like, why would people want that? But if you have different features and different ways to play, you know, like the cloud gaming, quick resume, Game Pass, as we said, Xbox Play Anywhere, and then now with the potential of a portable device, which, you know, Ryan McCaffrey did ask Phil Spencer about earlier, right after the Xbox showcase and during the summertime. It's like a lot of people would like that. We have the G Cloud and the, what do you call it? The all these different ROG Ally, all these different handhelds, but a dedicated Xbox handheld would sell a lot. We've seen what Nintendo's been able to do with that for decades now, especially now with the Switch. So it would be great to see Microsoft kind of go into that. And now when it comes to handhelds, we know Phil Spencer has said he likes them. So it says he's repeatedly professed his admiration for handheld game devices, said the expectation is that we would do something in that category. Although the company is working on prototypes and considering what it might do, Spencer also asked his group to look at the market and develop its vision based on what it learns. Such a device is a few years out, he said. And now a big concern for a lot of fans have been, you know, when is it going to come out? Obviously, you want a great device. You want it to be competitive. You want it to run games great. But now you have the Steam Deck, which is really, no pun intended, picking up steam as far as popularity goes. You have the Switch, as well as the Switch 2, which was supposed to launch this year, allegedly, and then got delayed internally to come out next year. So now that's going to be a monster. We all know the Switch 2, as popular as the Switch is, the Switch 2 is going to be a more powerful version of the Switch, and more people are going to want it. We know Sony most likely is working on a handheld as well. And then you have the other handhelds, as we mentioned, the G Cloud and the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck, as we said. And it's like, unless you can get this dedicated device that runs really well, and then the price point on it, right? If you're already moving away from, you know, first party exclusivity, it's like, now you have to convince people to buy this device. But some people would like a portable version of that, especially if you can kind of get a all-in-one system with, you know, access to people's Steam libraries and things like that. Then a lot of people would be into that. I would be into that as well. And then another pillar that Xbox is really trying to go into, which was, you know, brought about by them getting King as part of Activision Blizzard King, is their mobile department. Now, it's been said by Sarah Bond, and we've heard it before, where there's kind of been a bit of a lapse in, you know, some headways and, or headwinds rather, to try and get into the mobile department as far as getting an actual Xbox store. You know, it's the Xbox app is notoriously not good on some of these devices. So they're having a bit of trouble when it comes to, you know, the legal side of things, and Apple and the Android, you know, Google market, they're already dealing with their own legal issues and things like that. So getting a dedicated Xbox store has kind of been an issue. And now, you know, with Call of Duty Mobile, with Candy Crush and whatever games they're also trying to have, and then as well as bringing these games and Xbox 2, as they said, every screen being an Xbox, having a dedicated mobile store would do wonders for them. Now, will they be able to figure it out? I think so eventually, but that kind of holding them back, and their integration, and the fact that Xbox's ecosystem is becoming way more complicated. It is becoming a little bit more seamless because of their technology, but the fact that they're having, you know, the phones, the Fire Sticks, the Xbox Play Anywhere, the cloud, which still isn't really there yet as far as the cloud goes, it's making things even more complicated. So now when you're trying to integrate everything to work together, and you have these headwinds and tailwinds, it's like now a lot of things kind of get pushed back, especially if we're thinking about their next device and hardware and where we think that might go. Because if it's supposed to have these certain functionalities and connectivities and things like that, and the biggest generational technological leap or whatever they call it, it's like, how's that going to go, right? So that remains to be seen. And then the last part of the video deals with what we've been talking about for a while, right? Especially since the beginning of the year with the business update and everything like that. And that comes down to how Xbox goes forward with being a first-party developer, but kind of moving towards more of a third-party developer while still pushing out their own games and having their own hardware. So it says here, after releasing the first batch of Xbox games for Sony Group's PlayStation and Nintendo company's Switch, Spencer is pleased with the results. Microsoft will do more of that, he said, and won't rule out any game in Microsoft's stable. He says, and I quote, "I do not see sort of red lines in our portfolio that say thou must not," he said. "It's too early to make any sort of decision on the next version of Halo," he said. And this, I mean, again, a lot of people are just like, whatever at this point, because we're kind of seeing like there were two sides of this when it first came out. There was, oh, they're putting Starfield and Halo and Gears and everything onto other devices. And then we found out what games it was. And other people were like, look, it's only these 4 games, which was Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush. We're saying it's smaller games, it's live service games. And there were other people on the other side or in the middle, which was where I kind of stood, where it was like, okay, it's no reason to panic yet. People selling their systems and things like that. But I did also say, hey, this doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. Like, they're not ruling anything out. We already seen Doom the Dark Ages is coming day and date on PlayStation, and you could say, okay, it's a legacy title, so that makes sense. But then we got a brand new Indiana Jones, which was supposed to be a, you know, first party exclusive, really big announcement. And then we get the announcement that that's coming out on PS5 next spring. Like, they didn't even just wait to announce that. They announced it with the news trailer for the game, which I thought was very strange. So them specifically talking about Halo and the news, you know, what is going to come and things like that, it's like, okay, now nothing is off the table. We had the Blade controversy and things like that. Now I don't think Blade is off the table either. They didn't have any branding that said Xbox. We got Gears of War E-Day supposed to come out, which was a prequel. We know Halo, as I said earlier, is rebooting to Halo Studios, probably going to, you know, the 25th anniversary of Halo 1's coming out. Maybe that ends up on PS5. You're trying to introduce people that maybe not be so old and, you know, they're a younger audience to these IP that weren't able to play it before because either they're younger or they just grew up on PS5. So again, nothing is off the table when it comes to this. Like I said it before, I don't think anything's off the table. I thought Gears, you know, Halo, Fable, like those like legacy first party games, I felt like wouldn't come, but now it looks like that might come. Elder Scrolls 6, there's no doubt in my mind, will be multi-platform. There's no way they just leave that on there, not just as it being a legacy IP, but just also the fact that it's like that is the direction that Xbox is going in. And Phil Spencer said at the end of the article, like, listen, the way the industry's going, the way we're trying to go and get on new devices and things like that, we got to be creative in how we do that. And he did a subtle shot at PlayStation and said, like, hey, we're not going to get there with $1,000 devices, which, I mean, may or may not have been a shot with the, you know, PS5 Pro and everything like that. But again, it's saying like, we can't just focus on the consoles. We can't just focus on putting out beefier, basically mini PCs. Like, how can we reach gamers as much as we can? And again, I'm not mad at it from a business perspective. Does part of me as a, you know, Xbox fan for, you know, 15 plus years, 20 years at this point, would I want them to kind of do what Sony and Nintendo does? Yeah, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, when I'm playing a great game, I'm not thinking about who made the game and all. Do I enjoy it more because different companies attached to it? No, I just like the game and I keep it moving from there. And now the last part of the video that I want to talk about that has nothing to do with the interview, but kind of ties in the timing of Xbox tweeting this out. So they posted this literally earlier today, and it was just driving home the "this is an Xbox." That is the whole slogan now. You have the TV, the phone, the, you know, different tablets, everything like that, just saying like, hey, Wherever you want to play Xbox, that's where we're going with it. That's everything. Like, it's saying this is Xbox, this is Xbox, this is not, this is, you know, people make jokes about playing on your smart fridge, but I think at some point that is a possibility. And now this, as far as revenue goes, this can work in Xbox's favor. I don't think Microsoft is ever going to go under. Like, the company just makes so much money in general. But as far as Xbox as a brand and your, you know, how people view you, I don't know. I don't know. I think they'll sell the games. People are going to buy them either way. But I think they just, we can call it giving up. We could call it pivoting, whatever you want to call it. I think the way we think about Xbox and even the gaming industry as a whole, maybe they're a little too early on where the gaming industry is going. Maybe they're, you know, right on time. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. I do, you know, as far as my investment in it, I'm not going to sell my Xbox. Like, I already have it. There's no reason for me to. As far as the next generation goes, I don't know. It depends on how they launch, what's going to happen. People are thinking, hey, 20th anniversary of Gears, 25th anniversary of Halo. Maybe they drop something from there, E-Day, maybe a remake of Halo 1 along with a new system. The way it's sounding with the handheld, that might, I don't know if that would delay the main system that they're going to come out with, if they're going to do some hybrid, if they're going to drop the main system and then have the portable, you know, handheld come out later. Who knows? We'll just have to see. I would like a dedicated handheld. As far as their next system in general, I don't think I really need it. I think the Xbox Series is plenty good enough, and then I have the PC as well, but I would like a portable Xbox, you know, dedicated handheld. So that pretty much does it for this video. Let me know what you guys think as far as this, you know, this interview, where Xbox is headed. Y'all sound off in the comments below. Remember, if you are new to the channel, do hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.